seconds to actually start.
Well, I think Blackjack's getting water, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. We'll do our introduction then.
Are we on stream right now?
No, just now. Hey everyone, we're on stream.
Hey. What's up, guys?
Hey,
what up?
We're continuing case 4, and we're just in the middle of talking to a bunch of jurors. We're waiting for Blackjack to come back before we start.
Yeah.
So
You should have done like or Yusuke should have been like, hey, what's up, gang? How's it going? It's Ace Attorney crew right up in here. Hit that smash that like button. Keep watching our playthroughs. Okay.
bro, I got no energy for that.
Well, you can do it right there. You just did it. Yeah.
You did for me, Andre. Thank you.
Yeah. Ace Attorney crew back at it again with another stream. Yeah.
Does do any of the characters that Blackjack is voicing come up soon? Or
not. I think I know what's his name, Joan. Her name, Joan. She. Only,
yeah.
She only has a few. And the judge. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Phil's not here yet.
Oh yeah, he said he was gonna come, but I'll go poke him.
Okay. Wait. Did I give him permissions? Let me see. Where is it? Where is he? There he is. Yeah, I already have him. Have the roles.
Okay.
So.
Bravo.
You know, let's go ahead and start for now while we wait.
Okie dokie.
Till we can't. Fire away, Andre.
Okay. Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please. Bravo.
Yes, my lord. Okay, where was I? Oh, shoot.
You just finished pressing everybody, so I think you need to pit him against the construction worker.
I think I already hit them. Then okay. I think I remember now. I had to pit him with her. Oh. Right? Pit second?
Yeah.
I was right, okay. Objection. Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
Ma, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what does he remember? But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in green overcoat, who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, Yes, we are well aware of all this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
Ma, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my!
My goodness. You mean...
That's right. I'm referring, of course. Referring?
Referring?
to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green ups in front of his eyes was a jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim.
Yeah, well, look at that.
Oh. Oh.
My goodness
Is
me.
Blackjack here?
No, I don't know. No, they're not here.
Blackjack?
I don't know what happened to Blackjack.
She jumped out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe something happened.
Oh boy.
Check chat. Are they online?
No.
No. Yeah, maybe they're having issues.
Oh.
Hmm.
My goodness me!
My goodness me! Oh.
I mean, hey, it does the work. It does the job.
My goodness me!
Sorry? You need to pee? And crucially...
Oh, Blackjack has been in the waiting room.
Oh,
Maybe they're gonna come back in here.
hold on a second. Actually, one of you jump... Actually, I don't know what to do. Okay. We're in the stream.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is everything okay?
It just took me a while.
Oh.
I'm coming right now.
Hey, Blackjack.
Blackjack.
Hey.
Hey!
Hope everything's okay.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
Oh,
Aw.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's why we have video games.
Yeah. Okay. We know precisely where the old man in the green coat. We know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
Oh, I still have the dots loading.
Oh boy. Let me. Should I? Okay, I'm gonna.
Maybe I'll X out and restart.
Just in case, I'll redo.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person whom Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road, where the woman was stabbed, was not on his way home.
Oh my, blah, 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 blah.
Hey, you idiot, old man. You haven't been so daft as to be roaming around there. We have been boxed this off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear beautiful green overcoat? Is it? I'm pretty sure that all peaked.
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume. Bravo.
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well... Again, I want a Jim Carrey old man, but it's just not coming out.
It's really good what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. As long as you're amused.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that summation examination is concluded with a rather large shift in opinion, Rubble. The A's 2, the no's 4, so the no's have it. Not guilty, they say.
I see.
Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue. Bravo.
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust? Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Seeks!
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I said was the truth. It is the truth.
Indeed. Stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right. It took me the whole day, and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue now.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Eh? Me? Well, I can't say wrong, no.
What?
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
Eh? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. And no coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway. It would just turn any gentle folk away when they did come. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Ah!
Is it true? Is it?
The incontrovertible truth is that the book just purchased by the accused were found at the scene.
Incontrovertible. Wow.
Incontrovertible.
Holy shit.
Incontrovertible.
Word of the day.
Big word.
I don't know.
Incontrovertible.
Yeah, I know.
You're fine. It's just like it's
Yeah,
just,
we're not clowning on you.
like,
We're
wow,
just,
that's
just
a
think
big
it's a big
word.
word.
it's just out of nowhere too. Anyway.
There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single sentence.
An old man.
Old man? You can talk?
You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray.
Hey, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Hi.
Let me raise your volume so you're audible. Good to see you. Anyway, go ahead, Arkham. Sorry.
Still doing the judge?
Yeah, he's doing the judge.
Yes.
Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw. But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
That's a lot of money.
Order! Lord Van Vykes. Zykes, explain yourself.
Fancy.
My lord.
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not prefer to it during the summation examination?
Proffer.
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and there are.
Hostility doesn't.
But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel.
Oh, we threw the kebab.
So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
It's next witnesses?
Mr. Narahara, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that There were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland police... Bleh. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
All right. No matter what Van Zeeks brings to the stand as with his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And will keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over.
Hey, Phil, it's good to hear you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
He's Cockney, right?
If you
Character?
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh. Constable Rolly Bates, sir.
Beatty?
Nothing to report on the. How do you say his name?
Beatty?
Rolly beat, sir.
Rolly Beats, sir. Constable Rolly Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
He's chewing on his chin strap.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No. It was your husband I was talking about. He seems... tired?
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check the meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and leading and extinguishing our streetlights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't be just falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. And they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bechancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know. But I've still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have the time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that man is so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Oh boy. Okay, I'm pretty sure I press everything.
Oh boy.
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat? I almost said Beatty.
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can possibly see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
Thanks, Voltage.
What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is
Oh, I just got the joke of their names.
what?
Pat, roll, beat.
Oh.
Patrol beat.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh, no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes, although I was fit to drop to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and the Queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. Has the noble founding principles of the force written on it and reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London down and uphold the peace of a common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it, then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat put me up a lot being married to a bobby like me. To show my dear wife how much I care.
Oh, Rolly!
Oh, that.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps.
And then kindly describe what happened next.
Okay, I'm gonna check this, because I didn't do in my, Wait, where... Oh, I didn't get that in the court record, so I can't do that. Alright.
Huh?
Don't worry. Two silhouettes?
And that's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Nutsme.
Yes, unfortunately it does.
And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there were streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Ah, yes, that's right. Of course there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly!
They're still maintaining that there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like there must be... It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the critical moments that followed?
Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. Then, when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
What?
That poor man.
What? Ah, yes, that's right. It was some old books.
I see. Old books.
Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without any questions, sir. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the tout? Is it tout? Or tot?
What?
Tot, okay.
Yeah.
The taut mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it your husband who's Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't exactly on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report.
There as quickly as I could, and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There was nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please! You're making us blush! Isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir! What Patricia said, sir!
Let's move on, shall we? That poor man. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Judge, get some police in here.
I'll allow it.
Right. Oh.
The light from the street lamps is more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Huh. Yes. And what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. It is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, all right. I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes your eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Aren't we, darling?
What? Huh? What? Ah, yes. It was the cues and no mistake. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no. Then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within the testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
The statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of the testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Alright.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, it always involves all these questions I never told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. That's it, is it? Well, how could it?
What? No. Oh no, it's not really that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like... Oh, I know! What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one, I could! Every single one! And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is!
Oh,
Ooh,
it's
crunchy.
crunching. It's a crunching.
What?
No, it won't do it all!
Okay, I reset it.
All right, that's better.
It wouldn't do it all. How about that?
That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fist down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely.
Is that man okay?
No.
Still standing, so...
Alright.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books you dropped at the scene.
Alright.
I think you need to press this first.
You should? Alright, I'm gonna check. Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say.
Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, Well, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. Oh, my goodness.
Well.
He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Mrs. Beat, seeing as you have regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it, yearnings? And there was, a kneel for someone, and the last one was definitely the thingamy's something. You see?
Yes. I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh, well, they were along those lines, I'm sure. I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have to answer to me. Will have me to answer to.
You
I got a
put
gun!
You put that gun down, sir! Okay. Someone give this man a vacation.
I got a gun!
Terrifying.
Yes, she really is. This is ready to.
Kazuma-sama. Contradiction. Statement about Mr. Unequivocal. Identify some other contradiction. Discredit them.
Oh, right.
Accurate.
All right.
Presumably somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the
Wait,
conclusion.
wait. Okay, now I can do the thing. So, you're saying that there were 4 books.
That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and the Thingamy Something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beats. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can see clearly, there are only 3 books.
There's some ample space on the other side of that woman.
What? No! That can't be! I saw them! Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me.
Sorry?
It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady's so large his corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Beats. But Mr. Natsume could not have possibly have dropped the 4 books as you described.
Why not?
Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume.
Evidence.
Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books?
Alright.
I'll be right back.
Alright, take your time. The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. What? Did you say something, Heidi?
No?
No, I thought you...
From your books?
Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No.
Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied on. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no!
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
What?
What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving.
Ah!
So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony, in every respect.
Oh,
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
But what about the photographic print? It only shows on 3 books. Ugh.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say?
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
You had that this whole time? I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
Order! Order!
there. You see? You see? Look at that. Look.
Yes.
It's just like I said. Isn't it, my darling?
Andre's not back.
Oh. Ill.
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir.
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
Hello.
Oh, you're back?
The picture of Monsieur Lecoux.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings.
A meal for someone?
A meal for Gabriel, in fact.
No idea if I pronounced that right.
I think that was about right.
It sounded
That's
right
French.
to me.
Does anyone ever
Gaborio.
pronounce it right?
I do.
I read Gaborio.
Gaboreal?
That's what I read. Gaborio.
Boreal.
As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Oh, did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
How's everyone feeling right now?
Tired? A
I'm
bit.
okay. Why?
All right, we'll keep going. You
Good.
You need a break, Andre?
Are you tired?
I'm a little bit, but I can. How much more do we have?
We got an hour. Do you guys want to take a break?
Sounds like you do. I mean, I'm okay
Yeah.
with taking a break. I mean, I can keep going, but if you want to take a break, that's also fine.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and take a break.
Alrighty.
Okay. Pause.
it's okay.
Sure, but yeah.
No, we're
Alright.
fighting now. I'm joking. No.
Wow. Okay.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay.
Big whoop. Want to fight about it?
They want to fight about it. Let's fight. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue the stream. Yeah.
Okay. Is it? That's unmuted. That's unmuted. Okay. Cool. Yep, we're back. Sorry we haven't been interacting with the chat. Too engaged.
Mega Tibib.
Mega Chibib.
Tibib welcomed us back.
Tibib.
Thanks.
Thank you.
There's a chat. It's like no, I see it. I see it.
It's okay.
There-
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. B mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
My pleasure, my lord.
Alright, I'm gonna check those.
Sounds like Tales of sound effects.
Kinda does.
The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you try to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat.
Sir, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? I'm not done yet.
No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate.
Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say.
Dilly-dally, shilly-shally.
Be quiet, you.
That's what
I
you gotta
may,
say.
Lord Van Zeeks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little eastern isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh,
Did that lag? I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential, and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruto.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Ms. Susato. Please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruto, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to renounce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand. And thank you, Ms. Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case, and has hitherto been overlooked.
Examine. Imagine.
Oh, look at this! The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never been able to read it in that state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book. Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Alright. I'll just look at this just Just in case. Nothing. 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 A little eyelash right there. Okay. Present. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Oh, whoops. Ah!
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination on the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track.
yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which the fourth book conceals?
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp!
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oops.
Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide?
A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out.
I think it's crunching.
Ooh.
Oh. Yep.
Yep, that's right.
There we go.
Yeah. There we go. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. All right. I'll explain my theory.
Hello?
Phil?
Sorry,
Nope.
what?
Phil?
Oh,
Phil?
oh, fuck, sorry.
You're good.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered?
My lord, the burn on the book of this book reveals a startling truth. about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor, after all. It's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious, how can you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, members of the jury may very well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense responses here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb.
The landlords?
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know. But of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Blackjack?
Blackjack.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
It lagged again?
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I delivered the line.
Oh.
Seems to have cut out again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me! I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrett's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then. How about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house?
I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection! This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused's landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed in the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
Good Lord! What sort of incident, counsel?
A fire, my lord.
Right to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bully thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Bully furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite, called the Lion's Pride. The lion's pride?
I blanked out. Sorry.
You're
You're
okay.
good.
You're okay.
Very good.
By Jove! The very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Dear me!
This is risible! All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was just burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadev was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadev even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Can you, Rolly? Can you?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
You poor man.
Just my scarf.
My scarf.
To break my neck with whiplash. It's okay.
He's gonna break my neck, sir, with the whiplash. But I love my wife. Yeah, you bet your ass I love my wife. Yes, I do. Anyway.
Oh, Rolly.
Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me.
Like a book.
There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen.
What a battlefield.
The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection! No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. And there is no report of the Garadeb's window pane being broken.
That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited Garadev's house. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time it...
Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season, then the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
I mean, there was a fire.
Well,
Even if there's a fire. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadeb's wife?
I believe it's a possibility, my lord.
I believe maybe.
Possibly.
I maybe, possibly, probably,
Entertaining the
undoubtedly.
idea that...
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster! You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward! A mean coward!
Really?
You're claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that it was never my intention.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
That man just dodged it.
He's just like, huh?
All right, let me out of this.
He's used to it.
I got enough practice when the missus swinging at me. Too right.
Here we go.
How long have we to sit here now, listening to this nippity spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is a little hunchback with a mustache, and ran away from the scene too.
I'll point at you for it.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
What did I tell you?
That makes sense to me.
Sorry? What was that?
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks?
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage.
No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book has to...
Leg.
If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time.
What? No forgive the discourtesy this time?
Ahem. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability of the court to hear.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Oof.
Well, see, here's how the whole courtroom didn't catch fire when the carriage was burning, because the whole courtroom has to be fireproofed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
That's twice now. It's over. I think that's Susato.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. That's what I did.
Ms. Susato?
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course. The defense has the right to another submission examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asked its right to a summation examination. Fuck!
You can do it, Naruto-san!
You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve?
I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. And we can continue next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks as always for coming.
Oh, absolutely. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna stop stream. See you guys.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye.